Gary, and this is the Kilted Drummer. How you doing, folks? Welcome back to the Kilted Drummer. If it's the first time you've jumped onto the channel and after watching this you like what you see, please consider hitting the subscribe button, giving us a wee thumbs up, and maybe leaving some comments. Okay, so as you can see, we're in the dining room, but tonight it's instead of grabbing one of the wee samples, this one is almost a bit of a request. Mason Coates out in I think it's Louisiana mentioned this dram a couple of nights ago over on a Facebook group that we are both in. He asked if I was going to review this one, so I thought I would grab the bottle, grab a glass and have a wee chat about this whiskey. This particular one is Glen Moray. We've talked about Glen Moray in the past, a few of their bottles, and I think some of you will know that I quite like Glen Moray. One of my favourite distilleries. It's about 25 miles along the road from here. So I've had this whiskey before, so it's not first time review here. So we'll get some of this in a glass and I'll have a wee chat about it. Now, this particular Glen Moray, this is a Sauternes cask Glen Moray. For anyone not familiar with it, there's a number of distilleries will use Sauternes casks. Sauternes is a French wine. It comes from the Sauternes region within Bordeaux. Sauternes wine it's a sweet wine. It's a combination of 3 different grapes. If I can get it right, it's Sauvignon Blanc, and can't remember the last grape off the top of my head, but it's 3 sort of like more white or green grapes. And what happens in the Sauternes region, the climate causes the grapes to start to raisin whilst they are on the vine. I think they give it the term the noble rot. And basically what happens is the grape, whilst still on the vine, starts to go mouldy. And if you know what the term raisin is, it's basically a dried grape. So whilst on the vine, the grape starts to dry, and then the juice in it becomes more concentrated. And they take these 3 different grapes and they combine them into a sweet, almost citrusy style of wine, Sauternes wine. So this whiskey here is a 14-year-old, and it's spent its entire 14 years of maturation in ex-Sauternes casks. It's not just a finished whiskey. It's been 14 years Sauternes casks, and it's given it quite a different sort of flavour as opposed to being in ex-bourbon casks and then finished for a couple of years or a year or so in the ex-wine casks. What we're going to do, give this one a wee sniff, and I'll just let you know how it feels for me. Straight off, there's that sweetness comes over. There's almost a honey sweetness to it, maybe a treacle. There's a warmth, like a warm caramel in it. There's a lot of warmth in it. Maybe even something like baked apples. Not unpleasant at all. Now, as I said, there's a lot of warmth in it, and it's got a high ABV. This one, if I can remember right, it's it's in the high 50s. What we've got there, 58.6. We'll put on the old spectacles just to 59.6. Wear them more often. So yeah, the warmth coming through on the nose could even be from a bit of that high ABV. But it's nice. Really sip. Very creamy. Velvety mouthfeel. That warmth is there. There's a little bit of a spice, but it's more masked by the fruitiness. There's a nice fruitiness. Again, apples. Maybe even a sort of citrus edge to it as well. I said caramel on the nose, but there's more, maybe even a butterscotch. Yeah, a butterscotch on the palate. It's a long finish. It's quite a lingering finish. If you've ever had a Sauterne sort of sweet wine, it's got a lingering sort of sensation to it as well as the wine. I think that comes across and is carried over into the finish on this Dram. There's an oakiness on it in the finish as well. Again, nothing unpleasant. As I said, almost a 60% ABV, so it's quite a high ABV, and perhaps with a wee drop of water calming that ABV down, some of the flavours might just sort of release themselves a little bit more. But as a Dram, it's fruity, warm. I want to say citrusy, zesty, but with that finish of oakiness. It's a nice Dram. It's a really pleasant Dram. It's got a nice long finish to it. You could quite easily sit and sip away at it and not just want to keep dramming at it, if that makes sense. You're not going to be pouring glass after glass, because it's allowing you that sort of depth of finish to sit back and think about it for the next one. And it's got a nice complexity where you can think about the Dram as well. Now, if I remember right, strangely this is the second bottle I had of this. The first bottle I used as a giveaway on this channel. The bottle went away down to Devon. Somebody down in Devon won the bottle from me on the channel, and they actually gave me a sample of it because I hadn't tried it myself. So once they got the bottle, they sent me a sample back, and I loved it. And the wife went out and got me another bottle of it, so that I could have a bottle of it. Same bottle there, quite a lot. It's not particularly easy to get outside the UK. It was released as a UK only exclusive within Glen Moray's Warehouse 1 collection. That's where they sort of, a little bit of experimentation with different casks, a little bit maybe eccentric or unusual caskings. And this one, I think there's 5 casks off the top of my head, only 5 casks. Yeah, so there's only 5 casks of this made, 1,248 bottles, only 14 years. I've seen it for sale. It's in the sort of £80 region. So, you know, it's not an everyday drink, I don't think, for a lot of people, but it'd be a nice one if you can get your hands on. For me, it's one of the better Glen Morays that I've tasted. Better Glen Morays, is that right? They're all good Glen Morays. But it's one of my, there's a better term, it's one of my favourite Glen Morays that I've tasted. If you can get your hands on it, guys, give it a try. Glen Moray Sauternes cask. Slàinte.